to talk about the assessment process, it's a really important part of making sure that we find the right piece of equipment for somebody. So a big part of that is finding out as thorough background as we possibly can, finding out about their pathology, finding out about the range of movement in their body, what their posture does and doesn't want to do, and most importantly, kind of what they want to do with their lives. So what are the goals we're trying to achieve, and that's going to form our idea of what equipment we start to look at. Okay, so it's really important that we're working from the inside out, so using that body as our guide for the whole process. We're going to be doing quite a thorough plinth assessment, so looking at that available range of movement, looking for any body asymmetry, and using that again to form our goals moving forward. So another really important part of the assessment process is looking at pressure risk. Different conditions will have different pressure risks associated, different ages, and also a pressure risk history gives you a much higher risk of pressure. So something we really need to be thinking about in the shape and the material of the seating that we're looking at. A really nice tool that we can use to help us is going to be using a pressure mat. So it's got hundreds of pressure sensors inside, and as you can see here, it's giving us a bit of a weather map as to what we're doing. Now, what this one's showing is that I'm loading quite heavily through my left-hand side, and I'm not loading at all through my thigh here. As I move, you will see that pressure distribution moving. Now, for those who can feel under their bottom, this might seem an oversimplification, but when you haven't got that sensation under your bottom, or you can't verbalise what's going on, this can be a really useful investigative tool to help us in our clinical judgments. Now, the other time where I've seen this be really beneficial is actually in pressure care engagement. So when we are able to see data from what's going on with our own bodies, that tends to make it a lot more attractive and a lot more memorable to be thinking about that pressure care routine. This is a backrest of a young boy. Now, this style of backrest is a custom moulded backrest, so when there isn't anything off the shelf or semi-bespoke that we can use, we will then move to custom moulding. What that looks like is getting someone in that target posture that we want, using a bean bag and then taking the air out of that bean bag to take a very accurate mould of their body shape. What we then do is probably a little bit of processing on the computer and send it off to be 3D carved by a robot. So how do we choose where to get this equipment from? Again, it's going to come right back to using the wheelchair user as that central piece to our assessment. So we're looking at different backrests or different seating across a big range of manufacturers and working out which one is going to be the best for that individual person. So it might be that we need something that is extra lightweight, so we're only looking at carbon backrests, but we've got carbon backrests from J over here or Matrix over there, and it's about having that discussion with the individual to choose which is going to be the best one for them. We might also be looking at things like the depth of the laterals, or whether there's growth adjustment we need to consider, or different types of lumbar support that are offered. Maybe even comes down to different bracketry that we want to use with their individual wheelbase.